that chapter talk about that. From verse 1 through 13. But we want to look at these three verses. And we'll be reading from the King James Version. It says, and he said unto them, which of you shall have a friend, and shall go unto him at midnight, and say unto him, friend, lend me 3 loaves. And a friend of mine, in his journey is come to me, and I have nothing to set before him. Then we skip to 9 and said, and I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given.
Yes.
You. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. We want to talk about for a moment somebody knocking at your door.
All right, now.
Somebody knocking at your door. Have you ever wondered why so many people come to the church for help? Why do people call on the preacher and members of the church for help? Can I tell a story? The story is told of a hermit that sat in his little cabin at the top of the hill during a drought one summer. His barrel of water was running low, but he always found enough water to sustain him for the day. Each day traveler came from wherever they was coming from, and they traveled to his hut and asked him for water. He told them that he only had enough for himself and sent them away. After so many days of this happening, day after day, the hermit asked one of the travelers, just who are directing you to come my way to ask for water? The last traveler responded that there is a gentleman in the general store who has pointed us in your direction. Upset, the hermit went and mounted his little donkey and made his way to the general store. And he asked the gentleman in the store, why are you telling people to come to me for water when I barely have enough for myself? The gentleman responded and said, I tell each person to come to see you not because you have water, but because you know the way to the well. Amen. Folks come to us not because of what we have, but we know the way to the well.
All right.
We know who God is and how God is able to take care of things. Y'all, a few months ago, Salvation Army announced that in their ministry they would have to cut back and close some of their stores and shelters because of their financial situation. Many wonder how this could happen and where would the homeless go, and many wonder where they would go and how they will survive. But surprising, the people that were asking this question belong to the church. They never considered in their own option about stepping up and making a difference and moving for themselves. Yes, I understand that our government have programs that need to be there, and we are thankful for them to have it. But it's mindful for us that we are able to do those type of things better than they can if we do what it is that God has asked us to do.
Amen.
And we know the way. Anybody in here know the way to the well? Because he's able to get it done for us. There's a old Negro spiritual that says that somebody is knocking at your door. Oh sinner, why don't you answer? Somebody knocking at your door. Today, many people are knocking on the door of the faithful. They're knocking on our doors, looking for a response to their troubles in the time that they are in. And when they look, they're looking to the church because they heard, not because the church had plenty, but because the church knows where the well is. The church knows where the source to get to whatever it is that we need. Now, we're not able to provide for everyone, and we're not able to take care of everyone, but we ought to be able to provide enough to get them to the source. Christians should always remind themselves that the world looks to us for the response because it recognizes that in its spiritual thirst, it is the saints of God who always know the way to the will. So when we look at our text makes an illustration of the importance of prayer. It began by teaching the disciples the model prayer that we call the Lord's Prayer. Then it concludes by the importance of supplication in the parable of the helpless helper. A man is awakened in the middle of the night by a friend who asks him for lodging. He wakes him, but the man was helpless. He didn't have anything, and he went across to a neighbor to ask. Because when you look at verse 7 and 8, he knocked at his neighbor's door at midnight. In the middle of the night, we are asleep, but he knew who had the resources, and he knocked on the door anyway because he had a friend that he wanted to be able to serve. And when he knocked on the door, he beat the door, and he rattled the door. But y'all know how we are sometimes. If you're coming at midnight and we think something is going on, we might not answer the door. But he kept beating on the door that someone will respond. The man came to the door, it's in our text, came to the door and asked him, "What do you want?" And he said, "I got a friend that has been traveling and I have nothing to give him. Can you give me 3 loaves?" And he said, "Look at here, partner, it's midnight. I'm in bed. My children are in bed. We don't have time for this nonsense." But the man kept knocking at the door. He kept insisting and being persistent about what he needed. The good man of the house opened the door, knocked, and went to his pantry and went out and got him and gave him more than 3 loaves. Why did he give him more than the 3 loaves? Because of his persistence, because he kept going and kept knocking, that he gave him all that he needed. So it behooves us to understand that we ought to continue to press God. Even when we don't hear an answer, we need to press him until we get an answer. We talked about in Sunday school, we need to be reminded that the answer may be no. But in the process, we need to keep asking and seeking and looking to God for what it is that we need. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened unto you. Midnight in a social order. We live in a society, and our social climate is wicked. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered a famous sermon that he called the knock at midnight. And in that, he described that America was experiencing a midnight of social disorder. That it was experiencing some wicked situation in our society. So I tell you that we are still in that way. Crime is rising. It hasn't fallen. It continues to rise. More declining people are hungry and need shelter. Even though abundance are all around us. The jails are overcrowded, murders and rapes and incest are all around us, continuing to flow. But people are plagued by their troubles. The first response is to look for help. And at midnight, they came to an institution, and they come to an institution that promote that they are able to help. We promote that we can take care and give the downtrodden in a right way. We can get them to a way that they can do what need and get their needs fulfilled. But we need to understand that we need to find our niche and what it is and how we can help our community, how we can deliver to them. Because the saying is, you can give a man a fish and you have to continue to give him a fish every day. But if you give him a pole and a hook and show him how to find worms, then he can fish for himself. Some people may be looking for shelter because they don't have a job, and we need to be able to provide or send them to a place that they can get training to where they need. And what we want to do here at New Jerusalem, when we find folks in that predicament, sometimes, y'all, we cannot get a job if we don't look right. If we don't dress right, if we don't have the right type of things, then we're not able to get the job. I can get all the education that I need. I can get all the training that I need. But if I don't have the things that I need to get to where I need to go, then I can't do what it is that I need to do. So they need a helping hand so that they can learn how to do what it is that needs to be done. And so this text is telling us that even in a social decline, we need to be teaching our children how to understand who God is. Have you ever wondered how a kid can understand different type of situation, but you give them $100 bill, they can't make change? Huh? You give them different things and they can't do what they ought to be able to do. What you saying? Look here. Now, anybody ever been to a store and gave a clerk some money and the cash register was down? So, it was $42. And then when they get, all they got to do is punch in 100 and then tell them how much change you should get back. But if it's not there, they can't make change. We need to be able to teach our children how to do what needs to be done, how to provide, how to survive in the world. And so our children are making aid, but they're failing to respond in a way that is pleasing to God. They're not able to do have you ever seen anybody make A's and then you have them to read something that you wrote out in cursive and they can't read it?
Yes.
And we ought to be able to write in cursive, y'all. I get on my daughter because she's always printing. And it's good to print, but sometimes we need to learn how to write in cursive. fancy right now. Raven looking at me. I know you're a school teacher. You're in the first grade, but when you go to third grade, you need to start teaching. They need to teach the children how to write in cursive. Can you write in cursive? All right. Because sometimes you may need to be able to write a letter in handwriting to someone that's important. But you can't do it in print. If there's someone important, they still need to see it in cursive. I know that we type a lot, and it's quicker if we have speedy hands that can go along the keyboard and make everything easier for us. But every now and then we need to write things out. And so then we have midnight in our social orders. More shift and crime are all around us. But then we are expected to respond, y'all. Why are we expected to respond? Why do people look to the church for answers? They look to the church for answers because we lift up the cross of Jesus to tell them there is salvation and hope. Look, y'all, if we just have hope, just some hope, then we can make a difference. Yeah. When a kid is in school and you can put hope in their life, it can make a difference for them. Because a lot of times they're looking at their situation and thinking that it can't get any better, but we need to instill in them hope that they can get better. When traveling on the highway, a hungry pilgrim look at us. We look when we're traveling, y'all, and we're going down the freeway. We're looking, when we get home, we're looking for a place that is clean and reliable and that we can get a decent meal at a reasonable price. A lot of times, y'all, we see the arch of y'all know what I'm talking about when I said the arch, right? We see McDonald's, and because of what McDonald's represents, we know that we can go in there and then the place ought to be clean and consistent and it represents to us. And that's what the church ought to be. We ought to be representative to what God is. In midnight, we need to be able to help women that may be abused, because this is a month talking about abuse, and not just women being abused, but children being abused. We need to be able to touch them and talk to them when the doors are being knocked. Teenage boys and girls who need leadership and direction in their lives are knocking at the door. The alcoholic and the drug addiction are knocking at our door. Troubled husbands and wives and the homeless and the hungry are knocking at the door. Why? And what shall we respond? Many church has forgotten their mission and what it is that they ought to be doing. The Bible tells us to go ye therefore, but we say stay ye here. Amen? Amen. And so we ought to go. Seek and ye shall find. So it talks about two different things. First, it said, and I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given. We good at that, y'all. We can do that part. But when we ask, that's only 1/3 of the equation. But there's two other parts to it. Seeking and knocking. We got to seek after God and knock and he responds to our knock. We need to knock to God, because when I knock on the door shall be open. Even when the good fella don't want to come to the door, I must be persistent and knock. God is that way with us sometimes, that we continue to knock at the door. Amen? Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be open. Y'all, we got to do all three of this equation. I got to get on my knees and ask. And then after I ask for what it is, I need to be able to seek and find it. And I should be able to knock on it. If I'm looking for a job, I got to go look for a job. I got to seek the job. And I got to go knock on the job. But I got to ask God to give me the job. But once God said that I have the job, I got to be able to go seek it now. I got to get active. Then I got to go knock on some doors, and it might be more than one door, but I got to go seek and knock. Because when I seek, I will find. And when I knock, the door shall be open. You can't get into a closed door without knocking on the door. You can't find anything sitting in the chair and not looking for it. The Bible said a woman lost her coin. One coin, but she got up looking for it. She will never find that coin sitting in her easy chair. She had to get up and seek after it. And when she found it, she rejoiced. So we got to ask, but we got to seek, y'all. And we got to knock. Somebody is knocking at your door. And when they're knocking at your door, they're knocking not just because you have, they're knocking because you know where the well is.
All right.
They're knocking because they know they have seen you at work, seen you out in the community, and seen how God provided. They seen what happened, so they know that I need to go ask her or go ask him. What is it that I am to do? You got to ask, and it shall be given. You got to seek, and ye shall find. You got to knock, and the door will be open. Amen. Amen. When we are praying, or when others come to us, we need to give them the hope that God is able.
Yes,
And I know that He's able because I have already myself asked, seeked, and found. And therefore, because you're asking, together we can seek and find. Because when they are asking, that's an opportunity to share with them Christ, who He is, what He's able to do. Let them know that He owns the cattle on 1,000 years. And when you become a child of the living God, they are also yours. Amen.
Amen.
It would be a poor father that wouldn't take care of his children. Anybody glad that God is your father? And because He's your father, He'll take care of you.
Yes, He will.
But guess what? Father like for children to ask. They like for them to seek and go find. Knock. Because sometimes when you ask, He already got it where you need to, but He needs for you to go find it. The same way He told the Israelites, go to the promised land fully of milk and honey. So they found it. Then He told them that you got to go knock. You got to cross the Jordan and go enter into the promised land. You got to go take what I gave you, It's promised to you. So sometimes, y'all, when we're asking, we want God to just lay it out on the table. But he said, no, I need you to seek it. It's there, but go find it. Seek it and you will find it. And then when you find it, sometimes when you get there, you know it's yours, but you still got to knock on the door. And you got to be persistent like this man was. You need to keep opening the door until you keep knocking until you open the door. And then when you get there, he tells you, I'm going to give you more than 3 loaves. I'm going to give you what you need. I know you asked for 3 loaves, but what do you really need? What is it that you need? I got a friend that came and I want to entertain him, but I need 3 loaves. Well, what do you need? Well, I need some lamb to be able to feed him. I need some mint jelly to give him on the loaf. I need some cover to cover him up for the night. I need a pillow that he may lay his head on the pillow. I give you what you need.
Amen.
I first got to ask. Seek and knock.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Amen.